It is ordered. The defendant shall be incarcerated in the Department of Corrections for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole.
Well, good evening, everybody. Finally, we get a sentencing for Jodi Arias after all these 57 years of trial. And so some subscriber asked me, Mikey, what do you think about this sentencing? And to that I say, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. So there you have my answer, what I think about it. You know, like I told you in previous video, there's some bright side to Jodi getting life without parole. Certainly much better than life where she could get paroled or some other reduced sentence. Even Dr. Drew agreed with me. Watch this clip for a minute.
One point about finances. Yeah. If she had been sentenced to death, it would have cost 3 to 6 times more to execute her because of all the appeals that go through state and federal court versus what it's going to cost to house her for
that life. Is what I think is that is the one big bright spot in this entire tragic story, which is the Mark is exactly right. There would have been appeal upon appeal. There would have been millions and millions of dollars. She would have had virtually, I suspect, the same sort of existence behind bars, perhaps with much more attention, perhaps with much more opportunity for immediate attention down the road. Now, people would be much more interested in this case and those appeals to see if, oh my goodness, is Jodi Arias finally going to manipulate her way out of this? Instead, she goes away, we forget about it, and that will be that.
So you see there's a good side to everything. And I like the fact that she's going to fade away, I wanted to watch all this new trial footage they release on the retrial, but it kind of fuzzy, kind of foggy, if you know what I mean.
Approach, please.
Judge going, Nurmi, sit down, shut up. The reason I put this one little clip in here is you notice how in the retrial where they give us the footage now, everything looked like it's in a fog. I think that like Jodi's fog.
Objection mischaracterizes their testimony. It's the same question.
Overruled. You may answer.
Wait. So since that footage is so foggy, let's take a peek at what Jodi's mom have to say. She finally speak up in court on Jodi's behalf, the only one to show up there.
Ms. Wilmot.
I guess she finally get her mom to stand up and say something for her. It must have taken a few years of manipulation to get this. Wouldn't say nothing the first time. Since this is the most important day in court ever, I think that her mom decided to really get dressed up for the occasion, and she's wearing a new style. It's called formal black tie trailer trash. Okay, that's the new style she's trying to begin for a formal court proceeding on your daughter's penalty. Uh-oh. You know what I see there? They're trying for the cute picture effect. But when I see this, her eye were black even back then in the cute baby picture, right? I think to myself, you know those movies where the little girl is pulling the head off of dolls and stuff? I'm afraid that's all I can think about. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
I'm Sandy Arias. I'm Jodi's mother. I'm sure you know who I am by now. Just want to let you know that I am the only one from Jodi's immediate family here today. On July 9th, 1980, Jodi was born into this world kicking and screaming.
Kicking her mom and kicking the dog.
When Jodi's life was at stake, she defended herself and decided she was not ready to leave this world.
Okay, you'll hear the mother and the Jodi, the succubus, both saying, oh, I were just defending myself. And then they both try to pretend on the remorse thing and say, it's terrible that she did such a terrible thing, and she regrets doing a terrible thing like this. Now, if she's defending herself, then there's nothing to be ashamed of. So they're not being consistent.
She had not completed her goals yet. She was not going to give up on life and fought to stay alive. Once again,
her goal was to go to Cancun and find someone to take care of her so she could make little demon babies.
About 7 years ago, she was unfairly incarcerated because she wanted to live.
Did she just say unfairly incarcerated? Okay, then I'm going to have to comment on the Wairika Weight Watcher Cub and this new fashion style again, if she's going to say things like that, okay? And I think I saw the judge raise her eyebrow, even though this is not very good resolution on this video.
Today, she's fighting a battle for her life. They can cage her, they can strip her of her rights, but they can't take away one thing, her beautiful soul.
They can't take away her beautiful soul because it's not there to take away. So that's why they can't take it away.
Jodi's the firstborn of 4.
Sorry, Mom. Okay, we won't listen to any more boring stuff from her. Let's scroll up and find something else. And then, of course, we have the comments of the lying sociopathic succubus from hell herself. And she was as disgusting and evil as ever. She was as throat-gaggingly nauseating as ever. Let's see what she had to say. She was certainly predictable and true to form. Check this out. Isn't it going to be interesting when she, be at Perryville? No more celebrity spotlight, Jodi. Psst, Jodi, try hard to pretend you have remorse. Say something remorseful, even though you're totally angry that no one believes your lies anymore. Sorry, Wilmot, I can't do it. Got to get up one more time and say that Travis was attacking me all the way down the hall while I stabbed him 29 times. You know, if Travis was attacking her all the way down the hall with that trail of blood, then he must have really liked being stabbed a lot to keep on after her for 29 times, and she not have a single injury except where the knife she was holding cut her finger. Warning, gag alert. This is going to be one of the most nauseating statements you ever hear in your life.
Judge Miss Arias has a few words to say.
And she's going to start saying them very, very fast. And then you're going to hear her sniff every time she tells like 3 lies in a row.
My legal team and I tried to settle this case on 4 different occasions.
Yeah, you tried to settle it by saying, I want to be released for time served for my 29 stabbing murder, and also I need an award for my art and my music, and maybe a Medal of Honor from Congress.
Before trial. We tried 2 times before the 2013 trial, and what Samantha said was not accurate. I was not the one who refused to settle.
Okay, here she is attacking Samantha again. Keep on attacking the family, and then say how sorry that you feel of what you did.
Holding out all of their thumbs down, refusing to settle.
Yes, they held their thumbs down, and so did 8 trillion other people who were watching your trial. Sniff, see that?
As for not wanting the death penalty, it's my firm belief that death would bring me untold peace and freedom. That's my personal belief. If I died today, I would be free and I would be at peace.
So, get on with it already. Sniff. Judge Stevens trying so hard to keep a straight face and not gag. It's very difficult for her right now, I can tell.
For years, that's exactly what I wanted. But I had to fight for my life just like I did on June 4th, 2008.
You lied to me. You're a bald-faced liar. Fucking liar.
I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, several nieces and nephews, a mom, a dad, 8.
Even a small child in the audience going to get so sick of this, they're going to start, crying and bawling. It's going to be like, please, no more torture listening to this.
Aunts.
Jodi, you have to stop there. Was that Travis's family doing that?
9 uncles, over 20 cousins that I've grown up with, as well as countless friends, all of whom would suffer greatly if I took my own life or if I allocuted and begged for the death penalty. And then,
Funny, she just talked about like 87 relatives who care about her so much and would be so sad if she wasn't there. Not a single one of them is there, except her mother. Sniff.
I did not drag Travis through the mud. I protected Travis's reputation for years.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
What I testified to was not false.
Fucking liar.
So once again, her nose is growing, and it's a good thing she's facing the other way. Her nose is going to get that flag over there pretty soon. Sniff.
Your Honor was also here
See, the sniff is a dead giveaway.
during the second trial when a lot of evidence came to light that supported my testimony from people that never even knew me but knew Travis. I do remember as I testified to this.
Sniff lie detector.
I'm sorry, I think I would have testified to this.
Oh, you almost caught yourself in your own lie you had to correct. She's going to say, when I testified to this, didn't she remember it's all on the record? And it's like, oh, this is what I would have testified to, actually. Caught herself in her own lie for a change.
In the 2014 trial. Remember the moment when the knife went into Travis's throat and he was conscious.
Now, isn't that interesting? It was all a fog before, and now she remembers when the knife went in his throat. The final one where she almost cut his head off after 29 stabbings. And of course you're going to say he was still attacking her at that point.
He was still trying to attack me.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
It was I who was trying to get away, not Travis, and I finally did.
Fucking liar.
And that was when Travis lunged at me just as I testified to, and just as the state's own detective testified 2 years ago before he and Juan got together and...
Listen how angry she is. People not believing my lies. The jury, first jury don't believe my lies. Second jury don't believe my lies. Nobody believed my lies. I am pissed.
decided to change their story for trial.
Sniff.
I understand now that that's abuse. So for Samantha to say that I was not a victim of abuse is wrong. To this day, I can't believe that I was capable of doing something that terrible.
This is her phony remorse statement. Now, Jodi, why are you saying that you did something so horrible when you just got done saying you were just protecting yourself in self-defense? See, she doesn't even understand the contradiction she's making. You'd think Einstein would understand this.
I'm truly disgusted and I'm repulsed with myself.
Believe me, finally you share the same emotion as all the rest of us.
All I have.
The judge going, thank goodness I don't have to listen to another word from you, I hope.
When you consider the issue of remorse, because that's the other issue that continues to haunt the victims, because they truly are victims. Out of the other side of her mouth was calling him a pedophile. She went even further. As you know, she even fabricated evidence.
Objection, Judge. Overruled.
Sit down, shut up, Wilmot. You're done. You had your time. 2 years worth.
And she's so remorseful about it, yet she can stab him figuratively throughout this whole trial, stabbing him with the only thing that he has left, stabbing him to take away the only thing he has left, which was his character.
Possibility of release. All right.
All right. BS done at last. Let's get on with it, finally.
The court has considered the nature and circumstances of the offense. I have considered the aggravating factor found by the jury. As aggravation, the court finds, as the jury found, the crime was especially cruel. The offense was committed with at least 2 deadly weapons. The crime involved substantial planning and preparation. The defendant did not render aid to the victim. The defendant destroyed evidence at the crime scene. The defendant went to great lengths to conceal her involvement in the crime. The court has also considered, as an aggravating factor, the emotional and financial harm to the victim family members, family history, and her expressed remorse.
Oh, she just made a face when she said that. Like expressed remorse, not real remorse. Very clever way to characterize that, Judge. I like your use of syntax there.
The court finds the mitigation presented is not sufficiently substantial to call for leniency and that a natural life sentence is appropriate. It is ordered the defendant shall be incarcerated in the Department of Corrections for the rest of her natural life with no possibility of parole. The sentence shall begin today, and as previously stated, the court is retaining jurisdiction over restitution.
That's interesting. Restitution. So I hope that means that Jodi will never profit one single dime from her crimes. Okay, now we're going to do the thought bubble version of what Judge Stevens was thinking while she was pronouncing sentence, because she was being too diplomatic to say it. So follow along while I give you her actual thoughts on this, which she could not speak. Oh, sigh. I thought this lying bullshit would go on forever. You think you're a legal genius, don't you, Miss Arias? Well, let me tell you something, Miss Genius Einstabby. You are never getting out, okay? How do you like that? You took 2 years of my life, you crazy psycho-sociopath, and you aged me 10 years, by the way, when I only should age 2, okay? And how dare you lecture me about Juan Martinez and Samantha Alexander? You don't have one shred of remorse, and that's obvious to everyone. You lying succubus, all right? That's what I think about you. The court finds, and everyone else knows, including the jury, that you are a cruel little spawn of Satan. You're not fooling anybody, Miss Arias, okay? Take that. And you used a gun, and all you were caring about was jealous, possessive, raging bitch. That's what I think about you. You did all the preparation. Everybody know it. All your stuff was lies that you told. You destroyed evidence. No one believed you, by the way, except that pathetic Alice Revile Red and a few of your trolls, okay? One of whom now in jail. And as far as your expressed remorse, I don't believe it for 1 second. You're just here to tell more lies yet again, okay? And as far as what you should get for sentencing, let me tell you something. You're never getting out, ever. But if it were up to me, you would get you would get the death penalty 30 times, well, let's say 29 times to be appropriate, and you would get that death penalty 29 times, Miss Arias, all done contemporaneously, okay? So that's what I think about you, and that's your sentence. Okay, that's what she was really thinking, just in case you're wondering, when she was talking so nice. Well, there you go. If you didn't think Jodi deserved the maximum judge could give her before, now you see she do, okay? If anybody's still insane enough to think that way. By the way, notice how every life that Jodi touches goes to crap. Anyone manipulated by her ends up being humiliated on the stand, like that Samuels and that other guy, that crazy guy that, I'll show you his picture. And the troll that got thrown in jail for stalking, and who else? Teacher who did some child abuse with little kids, had them doing support Jodi video without permission of the parents, and at a boys-girls club, and the teacher got fired right away, thankfully. And everybody her lifetime. De Rosa now in big trouble with the Raw, and even Kurt Nermius, like, can't I get away from this manipulative spider trap? Anyway, so she get life without parole as she deserved. And what I like to do is just take a quick peek at her new condo accommodations at Perryville, where we're glad she's going to spend the next 387 years, if we should be so unfortunate that she lived that wrong. There's Juan. Juan is saying right now, hallelujah, this woman never come out. Don't have to deal with her anymore.
Inside the place Jodi Arias will call home for years to come.
That's so cool.
Her prison cell. No matter whether she gets death or life in prison, Jodi will be taken to Perryville Prison, to the Lovely Unit, and this cell.
Did he say Lovely Unit?
Officers open the door and we get an exclusive look into Jodi Arias' new home. The cell has a painted blue.
But do you notice there's like wear mark on the floor where somebody pacing? I'm imagining Jodi pacing back and forth for hours and hours in there. Maybe she could sit on this bed and do evil laugh,
A small bunk with a thin vinyl covered mattress, some shelves, a porcelain sink, and
she can stand on her head over here. Okay, she got something there.
Toilet. It's in the maximum security Lumley unit at Perryville Prison.
Oh, Lumley unit, not Rovely unit. Okay.
These fenced-in areas are where Jodi will get to spend 6 hours a week in recreation time.
I don't think that'll be the kind of recreation she was counting on earlier in life, when she was planning her stabbing trip down to Arizona. But I like that she's going to be in a cage now, don't you? I think that succubuses should be kept in cages.
She can get a job that will pay her between 10 and 50 cents an hour.
I like that. But I want her to get the 10-cent an hour part because, you know, she doesn't have the kind of skill set that would warrant 50 cents.
Do origami and pencil drawing activities.
No, don't he mean origami and tracing somebody else's work? I think that's what they meant to say there. Okay.
And group counseling sessions with 11 other inmates will be offered. But
where she will try to brainwash them and say, I'm here to protect all of you from the kind of abuse I suffered. Okay.
During those, she will be locked in place.
Their ankles are in cuffs. There's a slide bar that goes over that so that they could not get up out of the chair and try and
stand on their head. Not going to be able to stand on her head during counseling.
Attack or touch another inmate.
The corrections staff at Perryville has been preparing for Arias' arrival by telling officers to keep a professional distance from her.
That's very good advice, because you don't want the manipulative, sort of like spider web-like, succubus-like, octopus-like Jodi to get her mitts on you.
They say they'll be watching her and her interaction with other inmates very closely.
I think the concern about possible manipulation is legitimate.
I just want to take issue with one thing he said. Not possible manipulation. She's going to be 100% guaranteed to try for manipulation, but I like this guy's approach. You know, he got the right approach. Well, you know, as you know, there's an awful lot more I could say about all this stuff. There's so many other topics I would have loved to tackle if I had the time. And maybe we'll do a retrospective, you know. This isn't going to be the last video I make, just because the Jodi trial over. I will be back. I am going to be absent for quite a while because of all the things going on in my life. But I really appreciate all you subscribers. See this through to the bitter end. And, you know, I appreciate all the information that you gave me and all the idea and sending me to the right links for the, you know, interesting stories and everything. And the fact that there's so many great people out there who are not sociopathic psycho Jodi trolls, you know, have their head on straight. It's great. What a good group you are. And anyway, I do have two last things to say about all of this. The first one is, as to Jodi's life without parole sentence, of course. And then last but not least, other than celebrating with me a little bit, you know, with something, a libation of some kind or other, why don't you all join with me? Let's all say it in unison, okay? The one word of advice I have for everyone, based on what you saw here, is whatever happens in your life, don't ever go with no sociopath, okay? Just don't, all right? Take care, everybody. Till next time. Fade away.